Okay, so let's start with today's lecture. Uh, this is the starting of module 4th, which is all about context-free grammar, context-free languages, and DPDAs. Mm, Okay, so let's just start with this. Uh, till now, what we have done, we are familiar with the regular languages, right? We know that the languages are always categorized in a form. Languages are always categorized in the form. Till now what we have done, that one type of language is regular one, then other type is of we can say non-regular in nature. Okay, so clearly the difference that we can see in regular type of languages and non-regular type of languages is that whenever there is no memory or storage involved, storage in the sense, why do we need any type of storage? Now suppose your question is a star. This is our regular expression. It says a star is the thing, and based on your clean closure start, it says that there could be zero or more occurrences. Okay, and we have to consider all of them. Based on this, we always generate our languages something like in this form. Okay, and also epsilon will be considered. We are familiar with these things. We have done this from since we have just started uh, this subject. We know that how you are going to represent any regular language, but what about the non-regular languages? Now in the coming lecture we will only discuss about the non-regular type of languages. One of such language is context free language, because we say that further these non-regular languages, wherever the memory is involved, wherever your system, your automata needs to remember a certain things so that he can make decision based on the string creation, I would say. जैसे अभी यहाँ पर है, हमें we are not concerned with this कि what are the values, what are the occurrences of a, or do we need to remember the occurrences of a so that we can give the occurrences of any other variable. If I would say that instead of star, now if I am constrained to a variable, okay, a raised to the power n and b raised to the power n. So certainly if your n varies, if your n is, let's say, suppose the n is 4, so that means that a raised to the power 4 and similarly b raised to the power 4 has to be there. So we know that to store the value of this 4, a memory requirement is there. The automata should be designed in this way that it should remember that the value of n is 4 now. Okay, if I am taking it in iterations, let's suppose at first time n is equals to 1, my string is ab. Next time n has been changed to 2, the string is double A double B, triple A triple B, four times A, and so on. In this way, an infinite set of strings, infinite language will be created. Okay, so we will be now discussing that. Now we are done with these regular languages. Now how can we check, how can we actually check, and how that automata will check using what criteria, using what storage mechanism it can actually generate such type of things, where it will store or where it will actually store this value to, so that it can give me these same occurrences of a as the occurrences of b are there. Okay, so just by giving an introduction, we say that not all languages are regular. So what happens to the languages which are not regular, which are non-regular type? We have certain type of recognizers for these languages that they will decide that whether this type of language is acceptable or not. Whenever we talk about regular languages, we say that we have an automata named as deterministic finite automata. We will pass on the string to DFA, and it will decide that whether this language is of regular in nature or in non-regular nature, or basically what we say that whether it follows the rule of any defined regular language or not. Okay, if I am designing an automata for all the strings of length 2 only, okay, so certainly DFA says that this is a regular type of language and it should follow the rules of even length. So similarly, we will be having a certain recognizers for the languages which are non-regular in nature. One of such type is context-free language. Okay, this defined as, you can say that whenever we talk about regular language, okay, we usually create finite automatas, either DFA or NFA, and we represent them using regular expressions. Next thing is we have context-free language defined by context-free grammar and is represented using push-down automata. And we say that this regular language is actually a subset of the context-free languages, which means that any language which is regular languages, suppose the example that we have already done, that A star, yeah, this A star is regular language, but since regular languages are subset of context-free language, that means it is both regular and context-free in nature. So all the languages that we have already done, if we are talking about a regular type, then this is regular, this is non-regular in nature, or more specifically, this is context-free language. But if I'm talking about A star, whether this is context free or not, then yes, it is context free, because regular languages comes as a subset of context free languages. All languages which exist as regular in type, they are context free in nature. They are also context free in nature. Yes, are we clear till this?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, what are the applications where we can use such type of languages? We will be doing parse trees in the coming lectures. That how parse trees can be generated using context-free language. How compilers can be designed. You have a specific subject of compiler designs where you are actually discussing these things. That how these compilers can be uh, designs, how lexical analyzers can be designed. So all of those things, XML languages, those can be designed using context free languages. Okay, so now as an example, we say that if I am talking about a palindrome, okay, we know, we have already discussed this in the first week of this lecture series, that the palindrome is that type of word to which, if you are reading it from the starting, or I would say if you are reading it from left to right, or you can read it from right to left, it will sound same, it will make same sense whether you read it from left to right or right to left. We can see some examples here. Madam is written, so whether you read it from here, MADAM, or read it from the another side, MADAM, it will give you the same string reading from both the sides. Similarly, redivider is a word, Malayalam is a word, and any 0101 combination of string which is palindrome in nature. So these type of examples we can take. So any palindrome word, or any example in the form of a raised to the power n or b raised to the power n. So that type of languages where you need to remember, where one alphabet of a string is dependent on some another alphabet. Okay, so those type of things are coming under your context free type of languages. So we have just written here that how we can define it, that this language is not regular in nature. So we know we have pumping lemma of regular languages to contradict all of the languages which are non-regular in nature. So similarly, the rules for them is written that this is of the form that 0 raised to the power n 1 0 raised to the power n. Suppose this is a palindrome series, right? Whether you read it from this side or this side, it will give you the same string. So using pumping lemma, we have just divided this string x, y, k and z form, and we are just saying that what happens if we can just contradict either of these rules which is defined in the pumping lemma. So as a result, we have just concluded that it will not come under regular languages. So using pumping lemma, we know that we can easily decide that whether that language is of regular in nature or non-regular in nature. So now comes a part of context free languages, that how that memory thing work, how the machine, how the automata is going to memorize that whether the language that how that based on that variable, suppose n that we have discussed, a raised to the power n, b raised to the power n, or here it is written 0 raised to the power n, 1 raised to the power n. Based on the value of this m, how will your machine actually generate the string based on different values of n? कि अगर आपकी मशीन है, अगर उसे वैल्यूज ऑफ n बार बार चेंज हो रही हैं, इट कैन बी 1 2 3 4 5 एंड एनी नंबर, any natural number can be there. So based on that number, how your machine is going to write the strings for you. So we came to this thing that all of these things will be done using a stack. A stack will be used to find out that whether your given string is context free language or some other type of non-regular language. So what we will do, we will just take a stack, and whatever the value of n is given to us, what we will do for the first type of string, we know that the string is of nature 0 raised to the power n and 1 raised to the power n. So by taking n as 4, it has become 0 raised to the power 4 and then 1 raised to the power 4. So we say for all the occurrences of 0, whenever these occurrences of 0 may come, perform a push operation for all these zeros. So what we have done, firstly, a 0 will be there here. Okay, next push operation, another 0 is filled out here, then another 0 is pushed here, then another 0 is pushed here, and eventually this whole stack has been turned into this form, that for all zeros which you are capturing, push them into your stack. Okay, now a simple question to you, if we are talking about stack, what rule does stack follows? Last in, first out, or first in, first out? What rule does a stack
First out.
follows? सॉरी पूजा, आपकी आवाज क्लियर नहीं थी.
मैम लास्ट इन फर्स्ट आउट को फॉलो करता है स्टैक.
यस, लीफो लास्ट इन फर्स्ट आउट को फॉलो करता है. ठीक है, नाउ वी हैव ऑलरेडी परफॉर्म, यस करेक्ट. नाउ वी हैव ऑलरेडी परफॉर्म द पुश ऑपरेशन है. पुश ऑपरेशन यहाँ पे परफॉर्म हो गया है. नाउ वेन एवर यू आर गोइंग टू रिकॉग्नाइज दिस वन, when our variable changes corresponding to this n, तब हमें क्या करना है, for every one we have to push, we have to actually pop the zeros. ओके, जब भी हमारे पास वन के अकरेंसेस आ रहे हैं, मतलब वेन एवर वी वॉन्ट टू राइट वन, वी विल डू राइट वन इन द फॉर्म ऑफ पॉप ऑपरेशंस बाय जीरो. वी विल जस्ट पॉप 1 0 एंड आफ्टरवर्ड्स राइट वन हेयर. तो आप लोग बस इसे ये मान के चलिए कि अभी आपने स्ट्रिंग जो है वो लिखी नहीं है, ठीक है, लिखी नहीं थी, लेकिन आपको ये पता है एज अ मशीन कि आपकी स्ट्रिंग इस नेचर में है, पहले सारे जीरोज आएंगे, फिर जितने ही जीरोज हैं उनके इक्विवेलेंट वंस आने हैं। तो हम लोगों ने क्या किया, जैसे जैसे आप अपने नोटपैड पे जीरोज लिखते जा रहे हो, वैसे वैसे हम लोग उन जीरोज को स्टैक में पुश करते जा रहे हैं। ठीक है, तो आफ्टर दिस माई स्ट्रिंग इज जस्ट 0 0 0 0। ओके, coming back now till this 4 times 0, this string has been already created. To create the ones, what we are doing, we start popping these. As I pop 1 0, I will write 1 here. As I pop next 0, I will write another one. Similarly, these two ones. So clearly, using this stack, whatever is pushed into the stack, whenever I am going to pop that out, I can just simply write the equivalent number of ones here, and it will give me a palindrome type of series, or it will give me basically it will give me a series, a string which is of context free in nature. Okay, so this act as a memory. We know that whenever we talk about memories, we talk about data structures, that what are those memory spaces, memory criteria is available to us in which we can perform different operations using memory. So one of such type is stack, and this stack can be used by the automata to evaluate such type of strings. Okay, yes, are we clear?
Yes, ma'am.
ओके,
Yes,
अब
ma'am.
नेक्स्ट जो स्ट्रिंग्स है वो मैं आपको एज एन एग्जांपल स्ट्रिंग दूंगी, और आपको बताना इवेलुएट करके कि वेदर दिस स्ट्रिंग इज कंटेक्स्ट फ्री और नॉन अनदर नॉन रेगुलर टाइप। ठीक है, हम लोग दो टाइप्स रखते हैं। ठीक है, कंटेक्स्ट फ्री लैंग्वेज CFL लिख दीजिए आप, और अगर आपको लग रहा है नॉन कंटेक्स्ट फ्री टाइप है तो NCFL। Okay, first one we already know, a raised to the power n and b raised to the power n. Just write your answers for any n greater than equals to 1. It will be of type CFL. We know this. Yes. Okay, next one. Now the string is of nature a raised to the power m, b raised to the power n, and c raised to the power m plus n for all m greater than 1, greater than equals to 1, and n value greater than equals to 1. Yes. For the second one, just try to apply some hit and trial method using stack particularly. Okay, just to simplify, as this is the first practice question, I will tell you that yes, this is of CFL in nature. Just tell me the procedure using which stacks, push and pop operations, we can justify that this is of CFL in nature. ठीक है, मैं आपको बता रही हूँ कि दिस इज ऑफ CFL, लेकिन आपको बताना है कि पुश एंड पॉप ऑपरेशंस कैसे होंगे ताकि मेरे पास इक्विवेलेंट नंबर ऑफ सीज जो हैं वो आ सकें। You can just unmute and say. Yes, anyone? Okay. Okay, if we just check it, that the question is in the form. Okay. ओके ओके फाइन गरिमा. देखिए, अब हमारे पास क्या है. फर्स्टली हमारे पास अल्फ़ाबेट्स कितने टाइप के हैं हमें ये देखना है. वी हैव टू जस्ट चेक दैट व्हाट आर द टाइप ऑफ अल्फ़ाबेट्स दैट वी आर गेटिंग. So here it is written A, B and C, and the variables that we have are M and N, right? So if I would write it here, A, B, C are the alphabets और जो variables हैं मेरे पास whose values can change. Okay, and the two variables are actually independent. N and M are independent of each other. We know this. और जो मेरे पास क्राइटेरिया है, बस जब भी हमें इन स्ट्रिंग्स को लिखना है वी हैव टू जस्ट रिमेंबर दिस थिंग कि हमेशा सीक्वेंस में चलेंगे. ठीक है, जैसे हम लोगों ने पहले एग्जाम्पल में किया था कि आपके पास स्टैक में जब 4 जीरोस आ जाएं तो सीक्वेंस में चलना है. पहले वो 4 जीरोस आएंगे, फिर जैसे ही एक एक पॉप होगा उसी के कॉरस्पॉन्डिंग एक एक वंस जो है मेरे पास आ रहे हैं. सो क्यों ना हम ऐसा करें कि हम लोगों ने हमारे पास सबसे पहले आया ए रेज टू द पावर एन. ठीक है, जितने भी वो एन्स थे, फॉर एन एग्जाम्पल अगर यहाँ पे मैं ले लूँ कि n इज इक्वल्स टू 2 है एंड m इज इक्वल्स टू 3 है, लेट्स से. ओके, एंड वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट स्टैक नाउ. अगर स्टैक की बात कर रहे हैं तो सपोज सबसे पहले मेरे पास स्टैक के अंदर एक a आया. ठीक है, देन पुश ऑपरेशन मीन्स अपवर्ड ऑन द अपर साइड ऑफ द प्रीवियस वन. नेक्स्ट a आया. ए जो है मेरे पास 2 टाइम्स आना था, दिस हैज बीन कवर्ड. ओके, नाउ नेक्स्ट वेरिएबल कम्स एज बी. बी आ गया हमारे पास. अब जब ये बी आया वी हैव टू जस्ट चेक दैट whether their count is dependent on each other or not. No, they are actually not dependent on each other. A and B's count is not depending, rather C is depending on both A and B, right? So what I will do, I will again push B for the number of occurrences it will take. 3 times that B may come. Now, an interesting thing comes up here, that if I am going to evaluate this thing, C raised to the power M and C raised to the power N, it can actually be C raised to the power N and C raised to the power M and C raised to the power N. We know that C raised to the power M plus N is C raised to the power M multiplied by C raised to the power N. This is just general mathematics evaluation. So we have evaluated this expression by this thing. So it says कि आपके पास A की occurrences आएंगे, then you will be having B's occurrence, okay, and then C की occurrences equals to B, and then C की occurrences equals to A. वो आने चाहिए। तो यहाँ से क्लियर हो रहा है कि अगर मेरे पास स्टैक बन गया, स्टैक में सबसे पहले मैंने ए को पुश किया, देन बी को पुश किया। अब मैं अगर बी को पॉप आउट करूं और जैसे ही बी पॉप आउट होगा, अच्छा अब इसके साथ हमारे पास एक्चुअली स्ट्रिंग्स भी बनते जा रहे थे। सबसे पहले ए पुश हुआ, स्ट्रिंग स्टार्टिंग विद ए, देन next A, then B, B and B. This is the string that has been generated till now. Now, whenever I am going to perform that pop operation here, I will pop one B and write C corresponding to that pop operation. Then again C, again C. So I can see that this number of C's that I will get will actually be equal to M. This is what I want. Similarly, for next A's that we have, we will pop A and write it as C. Those number of C's can be written. So C raised to the power N is actually equal to A raised to the number of occurrences of A. Okay, so in this way we can generate this. Now here we can see that A is actually 2, B is 3 and C is 5. And 5 is actually that 2 plus 3 thing. So 2 plus 3 will give me 5, and we have evaluated it using this thing that we have just expanded it into another form, and then we have tried to evaluate it using our stack operation. Yes, is this clear? But the sequence matters. हाँ जी, क्लियर है ये सभी को? ओके, अब आपके लिए एक क्वेश्चन है. What if I am going to write the string as अब अगर मेरे पास स्ट्रिंग जो है वो इस फॉर्म का अगर आ जाए, whether it will be of CFL type or not. Okay, we have an answer that yes, it is CFL. Others, CFL. Okay, so we have almost all answers as that this is CFL in nature. Now, just if I would change this question as okay, हम लोगों ने previous example किया था that was of this form. Next, n plus m. In the next case, if it is of this form, n occurrences of A, m occurrences of B, m occurrences of C and n occurrences of D. एक मेरे पास ये चीज है, और फिर अगर मैंने इसे चेंज कर दिया विद दिस वन, You have to tell about three and third and fourth type. Okay, आप mention कर दो कि third is of this nature, fourth is of this nature. ये दोनों हम हमें क्लियर हैं कि these both of these are in CFL in nature. What about third and fourth? Third is CFL, fourth is NCFL. Okay. Okay. Can anyone just unmute and tell me that why this one is CFL and the another one is NCFL? This is correct. Okay, we have one answer that both are NCFL. Yes, anyone, could you please explain this? You're doing it right. Yes, गरिमा, आप इसे एक्सप्लेन कर सकते हो? Okay, because of the sequence. In the fourth sequence, in fourth sequence get changed in logo as first m number of B's will be popped out, then n number of A's. Exactly. अब यहाँ पर यही चीज आ रही है कि अगर हम फर्स्ट की बात कर रहे हैं, ठीक है, दिस इज ऑफ CFL in nature. तो हम लोगों ने एक स्टैक लिया, A is pushed, again A is pushed. We are taking that same example that n is equals to 2 suppose and m is equals to 3. Okay, A raised to the power n, two occurrences of A, B raised to the power m, that means B and again B. Now comes the pop operation. Okay, till now what I have done, this is the string that has been generated here. So now whenever I am going to pop these B's, the next variable or the next alphabet that is coming, if it is related to the number of B's only in that case I can justify it in NCFL, in CFL form actually, in context free language form, if and only if the next variable or the next alphabet that is coming is dependent on or is equivalent to the number of occurrences of either B or both A and B. This can be possible. Now, as we can see that why this is in CFL in nature, here also come that n part. But actually this C is depending on whole of n plus m. So whether you write it in the form 2 plus 3 or 3 plus 2, eventually the answer will come out to be as 5 only. So that is why we said that this is of CFL in nature. But if the individual number, the C is depending on only n, and n is written over here, but before popping these B's I cannot pop A. बी को पॉप किए बिना हम लोग ए को पॉप नहीं कर सकते, और इसीलिए हम लोग सी की अकरेंसेस इक्वल्स टू ए कभी लिख ही नहीं पाएंगे बिकॉज बी इज ऑलरेडी देयर. सो वेन एवर यू विल पॉप दीज बीज, तो आपका जो भी वेरिएबल आ रहा है उसे बी के इक्वलेंट होना चाहिए, और जब हमारे पास बीज रिमूव हो जाएंगे, नाउ वी कैन pop a's also. So then your next variable may depend on a, uh, which is D. Okay. So yes, Arunpreet and Garima, your answer was correct. बाकी लोगों को क्लियर है ये चीज? ओके, अब मुझे बाकियों से आंसर्स चाहिए फिर, ठीक है? Now, what about this type of language? Okay, we will just write it. This is CFL. What about this type? CFL. यस, CFL क्यों? क्योंकि a रेज टू द पावर n, c रेज टू द पावर k जो है हमारे पास, ये हमारे पास प्रेजेंट तो हैं वेरिएबल्स, लेकिन क्योंकि ये किसी पर डिपेंडेंट ही नहीं है, तो आप लोग क्या करोगे, वी विल नॉट पुश देम इन द स्टैक। हम लोग इन्हें कंसिडर ही नहीं करेंगे, क्योंकि क्योंकि कंसिडर हमें सिर्फ उन चीज़ों को करना है स्टैक के लिए जहाँ पर हमें मेमोरी रिक्वायर्ड है। मेमोरी कब रिक्वायर्ड होगी? वेन एवर यू नीड कंपेरिजन। सो डू आई नीड एनी कंपेरिजन फॉर n? नो, then I will not push it into stack. Do I need comparison for m? Yes, I will push it in stack. Suppose m is 4, 4 times m can come. Then comes k. Does it depend on any of other variable? Does this variable k depends? No, then I will not push it. And while writing d raised to the power m, which is actually equal to the occurrences of b, so it depends on this b. So whenever I am going to write this, I will simply pop these out and write its value. Okay, so this will also come as CFL in nature. Next one, a raised to the power n and b raised to the power 2n. Okay, CFL. Others? Okay, CFL. ठीक है. Okay, if I would ask Pooja, can you please explain this? Okay, who is this? 740 roll number. अपना माइक जो है उसे म्यूट कर लीजिए प्लीज. या थैंक यू. हाँ जी पूजा, आप इसे एक्सप्लेन कर दो. ओके, निकित. बिकॉज ए इज इंडिपेंडेंट. नहीं, ये मतलब इसका अच्छा जस्टिफिकेशन नहीं हुआ. ए इज डिपेंडेंट. एनीवन एल्स? निकित और गुरप्रीत. देखो, Gurpreet, Nikit, yes, you can you explain this, that how this comes out to be a CFL? ओके, तो अब होगा क्या इस चीज में? B is dependent on A, yes. और हम लोग इस चीज को कैसे करेंगे? कि अगर मेरे पास A's आ जाएं, ठीक है, सपोज माई N इज इक्वल्स टू 4 हियर, ठीक है, और हम हमें क्योंकि वो डिपेंडेंट है, दैट मीन्स पुश ऑपरेशन विल डेफिनेटली गेट परफॉर्म्ड, ओके, एंड आई हैव टू पुश A 4 टाइम्स, दैट इज फाइन। लेकिन अब मुझे पता है कि जितने भी मेरे पास A's हैं, नंबर ऑफ A's हैं, उसका डबल जो है, डबल अकरेंसेस मेरे पास होने चाहिए बी के। सो व्हाई नॉट आई डू वन थिंग, दैट आई हैव दीज एज, बट विद एवरी पॉप ऑपरेशन ऑफ ए, every with each operation, pop operation of a, if I am going to write the string as double b, okay, one a is popped out, b is written, yes Garima. Next will pop out, double b is given, and in this way you can always check that if you get a to be 4 times, then your number of b's will actually come out to the double times of a, okay. अब अगर ये वाला क्वेश्चन अगर आपको इस तरीके से हो, okay, whatever the occurrences of a's are there, the b should be half in nature. तब हम लोग क्या करेंगे कि for every 2 occurrences of a we will write a single b, ये चीज होगा। फिर नेक्स्ट 2 अकरेंसेस ए के लिए हम लोग एक सिंगल बी लिखेंगे। सो इन दैट वे आपका हमेशा अगर 4 टाइम्स ए है तो बीज विल बी 4 डिवाइडेड बाय 2, 2 times will be there, okay. So we have to just calculate a logic, and based on that your machine will be decide, your automata will be decide, so that it can check, it can verify the nature of the language. हाँ जी, क्लियर है ये सभी को? Yes, everyone, are we clear? Okay. बाकी लोग भी बता दो।
Excuse me, ma'am. हेलो
हेलो, यस।
मैम, ये वो एक चीज समझ नहीं आई कि मतलब इक्वल टू नहीं होगा, जैसे ए 4 हो गए तो बी भी 4 होने चाहिए।
वो रोहित इस केस में होगा अगर ये चीज है, द एट्थ वन, ठीक है, ए एन बी भी एन है, लेकिन क्योंकि मैंने यहाँ पर लिखा था 2n, है ना, 2n का मतलब है b रेज टू द पावर 2n, और या फिर आप इसे कैसे लिख सकते हो कि मेरे पास b स्क्वायर है, b रेज टू द पावर 2 है, एंड दैट होल रेज टू द पावर n, you can write it in this form. So basically हमने क्या बोला कि जब भी n आएगा you have to write it b square, double b.
ओके मैम।
हाँ, ओके, अब आपके पास एक और क्वेश्चन है, दिस वन, whether this will be of CFL or NCFL type. अब यहाँ पे मेरी वो बात ध्यान पे रखना कि order matters. While performing those push and pop operations, that order matters. Yes, anyone, whether it is of CFL type or NCFL type. NCFL. Okay. ठीक है, चलिए हम लोग इसे इवैल्यूएट करने की कोशिश करते हैं. As after popping n, write reason but don't think anything to pop out of. Oh yes, yes. तो हम लोग जब भी CFL लैंग्वेजेस की बात करते हैं, वी आर सेइंग दैट वी हैव मेमोरी, but that memory is actually limited, or I can say the number of data structures that I can use can only be one. ओके, अगर मेरे पास कुछ ऐसा तरीका होता, चलिए पहले इसी चीज को अगर हम सॉल्व करें, दैट योर n इज इक्वल्स टू 4, तो क्या होगा, बिकॉज a b और c तीनों इक्वल नंबर्स के होने चाहिए, तीनों एक दूसरे पे डिपेंडेंट हैं, तो दैट मीन्स a विल बी पुश्ड. I have pushed a 4 times. Then to write b, I have to pop them out. Okay, I will simply pop each a with a single occurrence of b, and it will give me this answer, and after this my whole of the stack is empty. Okay, now to write this c, I have nothing in the stack to compare with. अब मेरे पास स्टैक के अंदर कुछ है ही नहीं जिसके अकॉर्डिंग हम लोग c को लिख सकें. ऑन द अदर हैंड, अगर मेरे पास मल्टीपल नंबर ऑफ अगर मेरे पास मल्टीपल नंबर ऑफ स्टैक्स होते, सपोज आई कैन मैनेज 2 स्टैक्स हियर. Okay, with every a I can manage 2 stacks, and for one b I will pop it from here, and for c I will pop another stack. तब सिनारियो कुछ डिफरेंट होता, लेकिन since we are not having this thing in our CFL part. CFL part is just constrained towards only one data structure. Okay, so now we have actually come to another type of language which is neither your regular one nor your CFL1, but this is of some another type of language which we are actually writing as, till now this is of NCFL type. Okay, which is not even regular and not even your CFL type. This is of any third type of language. Okay, so if I talk about this thing, that there are regular languages, there are CFL type languages, so this may exist somewhere here outside the scope of CFL languages. Okay, these type of languages are actually known as your uh, recursive languages. Okay, we will discuss about these also. So yes, any type of language. So CFL just says that if your one type of variable or alphabet is dependent onto some another variable, but just two such type of alphabets should be there which are dependent on each other, then it can be represented using CFL or push down automata. If there comes any variable more than two, okay, any third variable or three or four variables might come, then it cannot come under your CFL part, because clearly CFL says that you can use one stack. Using one stack, a relation of one alphabet to another one can be explained as it is written here. But what about C? I cannot write the equivalent uh, occurrences of C's as per occurrences of A and B. So that is why this is of NCFL in nature. Yes. ये चीज सभी को क्लियर है? Yes. Okay. So this is just the explanation of the answers that are written. अब ये वाली सारी एग्जाम्पल्स जो हैं वो बेसिकली हम लोग कर चुके हैं. दैट a raised to the power n, b raised to the power n, c raised to the power n, NCFL. a raised to the power m, b raised to the power m, c raised to the power n, d raised to the power n. What will be the nature of this type of string? Rest we have done. Okay, I will write it here. This is the last example that we will do today. Occurrences of A are equal to occurrences of B, and occurrences of C are equals to occurrences of D. What will be the nature of this language? CFL. Yes, because आप लोगों ने A को पुश किया, correspondingly B को pop, A को pop करके B written, we have written it, and then stack is empty, we have pushed M, and then corresponding to that D will be written. Yes, Garima, correct. So this will be of CFL in nature. So this was the categorization basically that we want to do in the introduction part of CFL languages. Next we will start with CFG. In the next lecture we will do CFG, context free grammar. Okay, in what way we can write this type of grammar. So before this I would suggest कि आप लोग एक बार regular grammar जो है उसके go through हो जाएं, so that we may not confuse their terminal or non terminal part here. Okay, और आपको differentiate करना भी easy रहेगा. So जो next lecture है that will be on yes, that is on 1st of October, day after tomorrow. So before that, please go through this thing, your regular grammar part. Okay, then we will start with the context free grammar. So we are done with today's lecture. Now you will just wait for the attendance.